Welcome to Stoic, where I will delve deeply into the intriguing realm of psychology, where we decode and solve the puzzles of human behavior and thought, examining the core of love languages via women's body language. And this channel is your resource for learning the subtleties of interpersonal relationships and becoming an expert communicator and self-awareness. Whether you're intrigued by subtle body language or fostering closer relationships, or just being curious in what drives us, you're at the right spot. Let's explore the science of emotions together. Behaviors and exchanges as understanding behavior is essential to greater comprehension. Sign up right now, and let's begin revealing the mysteries of human. When a woman's body talks louder than her words. Psychology, have you ever questioned what she's thinking? Women may not always express their goals verbally, but their body reveal an intriguing tale to you. Must comprehend in order to establish a deeper connection with her. What if you have been overlooking the subtle but potent? This video is your go-to resource for the clues she's been providing you all along, interpreting her seductive lip-biting and compelling sway as clues to the secret language of her desire. Did you aware that these apparently little hip motions have deep significance? The way her pupils dilate, or even a persistent touch, might be her method of demonstrating arousal. At the conclusion of this video, without using any words, you'll be able to identify these symptoms and know how to react to them with confidence and respect, strengthening the bond between them. Stay tuned as we examine the science of her tiny cues, the psychology of her actions, and the depth of her emotions. Underlying her behavior, these revelations have the potential to permanently alter your perspective on closeness and desire. Don't pass up the opportunity to learn the hidden truths she has been whispering to you. If you are not subscribed, I suggest turning on the notification bell and subscribing. I really appreciate your support, so please don't miss any videos. If you liked this, by enjoying and sharing the video, you can assist me in continuing to share the important teachings. If you find this video's content interesting, please leave a remark. If not, leave a comment with 0 to let me know how I can enhance and produce better films for you. Let's start. Women often communicate expressed desires and emotions in ways that are subtle, complex, and very captivating, in contrast to men who might feel women are more at ease establishing direct connection and often use non-verbal little subconscious gests that reveal a great deal about their feelings and desires. This quiet communication method is among the most lovely features of interpersonal relationships. It adds depth and mystery to partnerships, opening doors for greater understanding and intimacy. Even if a woman never says anything, when she is aroused, her body becomes a book for everyone who knows how to read it. When a woman licks or chews her, her lips are one of the most powerful messages she can use. Lips, this apparently little move, is by no means an idle habit, has several meanings that indicate heightened expectation, tense excitement, and often sexual tension. Her body seems to be reacting automatically, expressing her emotions in a language that doesn't need words. From a psychological standpoint, research on nonverbal communication shows the activity of lip biting is strongly associated with arousal and desire. Based on human nature, this delicate method of highlighting the lips is one of the lips are the body's most sensuous and emotionally expressive organs, are very sensitive due to their abundance of nerve endings, and when a woman bites or licks them, it's her body's method of inviting them as well as acting as an action. Expressing my interest despite the fact that her words or manner appear guarded, what I find, the emotional intensity of this little lip-biting behavior is quite interesting, often coupled with a feeling of vulnerability and a silent declaration of desire that she may not be ready to freely display this vulnerability, which makes the occasion seem unique and personal. If you're being given access to her innermost thoughts and emotions, It's a bodily act that bridges the gap between anxiety and attraction, expression of her internal struggle, and the thrill of seeing it is like catching a brief, unguarded sight of her actual feelings, a moment of unvarnished candor cloaked with. This behavior may also be subtly interpreted as a kind of self-expression. When a woman licks or chews her lips, she's exposing a part of herself in addition to expressing interest of herself, which is a dance of attraction that is both automatic and intentional, where each action has purpose and each look or gesture adds to the narrative developing between two individuals. For me, the power of silent communication lies not only in the act, but also in the emotions it evokes. The intricacy of human nature is what makes this even more lovely, as is the link it forges. Interaction in these kinds of situations, it's not just the physical act that is important, but the background, feelings, and implicit bond between two people's. Lip biting, in particular, is a very tense emotional habit. It's an anxious, anticipatory, and yearning time combined with. It illustrates the fine line that separates the need to show desire from such signs are so compelling because of their emotional intricacy, which makes one feel uncertain or reluctant, are a direct window into the heart, and these non-verbal cues are a reminder of the complexity of human relationships. They ask us to focus more intently in order to notice and establish genuine connections with those around us. In an instance of arousal or desire, when a lady nibbles or licks her lips, it's more than simply an action. It's a narrative and an emotion that are waiting to be understood, be recognized, and a bond that is awaiting strengthening at those times when we're reminded that showing affection involves more than simply using words or extravagant displays. It also involves observing the subtle, unsaid cues that disclose a person's true feelings, which is, in my opinion, one of the most deep and. When a woman experiences sexual stimulation, her body often responds, which is one of the lovely aspects of human connection. In really natural ways that reveal feelings she may not realize completely comprehend herself, her lips can naturally enlarge just a little bit. This little alteration is a silent reaction to the increased blood flow that often follows elevated arousal, but strong indication that her body is whispering, revealing what her heart and perhaps her thinking is too reserved to speak directly. It seems as if her physical body has a language of its own, and in situations like this, it speaks words that are among the most compelling. She may unintentionally make the motion of biting her lips, which seems to be an even seemingly innocuous movements, have deeper meanings. For example, when her teeth brush against her lip, it's not just a reflex. It's how she copes with the barrage of feelings and sensations. She bites her lip in an attempt to alleviate the stress that is coursing through her body, gives her a brief outlet and a means of balancing herself against the strong current of desire. In that brief action, she's quietly narrating a narrative of desire that is full of unsaid words and unexplored. 1,000 ideas may be running through her head, many of them tinted with. She may be reluctant to express her feelings of sensual curiosity and creative imagination. Lip biting therefore transcends beyond a mere bodily act and becomes both exciting and prohibited. She uses this private conversation with herself as a means of keeping just enough in check to maintain her composure while letting slip just enough, sufficient to pique interest. She's stuck in a precarious dance between self-control and surrender, a brief moment of, there is more to this than just vulnerability that is both fascinating and illuminating. If you see her biting her lips while she's close to you, it's a more subtle gesture than it first seems. Think about what may be going on in her mind. Perhaps she's visualizing the feeling of your lips on hers, wondering how it would feel to close the distance between you. Maybe her thoughts have strayed. Further imagining the sensation of your touch, the excitement of a close relationship, or the electricity of a lip biting at an intimate time turns into a subliminal invitation. But to see this performance is to be unmistakably controlled, but filled with emotion. Get a peek into her inner world, where desire and doubt coexist and vulnerability meets need. It's uncommon and lovely to see someone struggling with feelings so unadulterated and real. She may not even be aware of the complexity of what she is saying, yet at that very time, her body is narrating a tale that words could never adequately express. Curiosity about attraction and the quiet desire for something greater. This gesture's complexity, it's not just about the lips, is what makes it so beautiful. It's about the feelings that underlie them, the bashful looks, the rapid breathing. Lip biting is a way for her to reconcile the silent tension that permeates the air between her inner thoughts and outward manifestations, as a clue to get your attention, comprehend her, and perhaps even give her a similar response. It's a time of pure, unadulterated humanity, where tension is created when desire and self-control collide. If you have ever had the good fortune to see this delicate but deep phenomenon, it is both captivating and enigmatic. Expressiveness. Pause to consider the depths of significance it conveys. It's more than simply a bodily response, doorway into her soul, demonstrating the profundity of interpersonal relationships and the subtle ways in which we express interest. Even though she may be running away, her lip biting has a subtle, potent meaning, reminder of the feelings that unite us all via our common experience of desire and love, in order to comprehend the ways in which women express sex thule. One of the most revealing and intensely emotional cues of interest is touch. However, it's not always anything huge or clear, but its nuances bear a weight of connection and meaning that is difficult to ignore me. This part of human interaction, touch, whether offered or received, has a really lovely quality. In this situation, being accepted is more than simply physical touch. It's a vulnerable language of its own. Research on physical affection demonstrates how a woman's body may foster trust and an implicit invitation to further closeness. When she is attracted to someone, she instinctively looks for connection. It's as if her passion is expressed in subdued, almost lyrical ways rather than via overt actions. She doesn't have to jump into your arms or verbally express her attraction. The yearning to connect becomes apparent because her body speaks for her. Weaved into each soft stroke of her hand or extended period of touch, it's these subliminal behaviors that often disclose her innermost thoughts before she's even aware of them. When a woman is aroused, her behavior isn't necessarily spectacular or exaggerated. In fact, it's often the contrasting, sensitive and quite significant connection. Professionals and psychiatrists concur that when a woman is aroused, she often looks for justifications or excuses to start physical touch, even something as apparently harmless as putting her to sleep. During a discussion, place a quick, gentle palm on your thigh, a gentle sweep around your neck, or a touch on your arm that sends chills down your... Thus, even if she's not quite aware of it, these are deliberate acts rather than spontaneous ones. Conscious of the influence that underlies the profundity of these movements I find the passion behind them to be almost magical in the way a lady may express so much emotion with a simple touch when she reaches out, like her body seems to be telling her, "I trust you. I want to feel close to you. And I'm prepared to establish a more profound connection." These touches are her means of bridging the distance between herself and the... She is drawn to someone who invites intimacy without using words. Even more intriguing is how these apparently little deeds may have such a profound impact. A quick touch, a gentle swipe of your fingers, or a palm resting on your shoulder may arouse difficult-to-describe sentiments of closeness and desire. They are subtle, but effective indicators of her readiness and interest. Experts explain in ways that seem both natural and very emotive. This as the body's innate reaction to arousal and desire, a means of producing, in my opinion, physical openness, proximity, and signaling emote. There is a certain vulnerability in the way a woman reaches out, testing the heart, and there are quite touching moments. Without uttering a single word, she shares a piece of herself in the seas. Reminder that being intimate is about more than simply making big promises or gestures. It's incorporated into these more intimate moments that are often overlooked by those who aren't paying attention. Touch is more than simply a passing gesture. It's a strong emotional bond. It basically means, I feel safe with you and I want to be closer. She uses touches to show her interest in you and to invite you into her world, making room for something more profound to develop. These are brave and small, yet very powerful link if you ever find yourself on the recipient of these kind, deliberate actions, pauses to consider what they really represent. A wish, a deep human yearning to connect, and a readiness to share intimacy are prerequisites for connection. The most sincere and deep relationships start when her fingers start making these little meaningful touches. To stray into more private and delicate areas, such as the veins of your body or the soft skin of your inner thighs. Lower back. Every touch is deliberate and by no means an accident. Silent investigation of emotions and limits. She's examining the area rather than only physically reaching out. She's allowing this vulnerable but bold deed between you to test the bond and see how you react. Her emotions and instincts to direct her at that time are greatly impacted by a wave of the amazing molecule oxytocin, often referred to as the love hormone, is essential for role during arousal, enhancing her need for intimacy, trust, and it seems as if her body is aching to use bondage to close any gaps that may still exist between you. Her touch is a means of expressing things that words cannot. The more purposeful and bold her touch, the more obvious her. With every self-assured step, she conveys a subtle but clear message. Indicate that she's prepared for you to have a more intimate relationship than merely physical contact, deep connection. Her touch is an invitation to do more than simply be open to meeting her at a passionate moment and realizing that it's a really moving statement that conveys a great deal about her comfort. And believe me, I find these kinds of moments to be magnificent in their unadulterated honesty. They serve as a reminder of the deep connections between people and the ability of touch to express yearning, trust, and desire all at once. Occasionally, her body moves in the most engaging and mesmerizing manner. The hips of women are often seen as a sign of fertility and have a language of their own, and it's no accident that when she feels genuinely attached or aroused, her motions become more purposeful and seductive, and her hips have a certain allure. Start to move with a beat that sounds nearly primordial with each step. Elle's steps become longer and more pronounced, and she moves with a fresh grace and self-assurance that make these moves unavoidable, not coincidental. Rather, they are a manifestation of her body's heightened emotions, even if she may not express it verbally. Her hip sway is a captivating non-verbal dance. I find her demonstration of openness and attraction to be almost amazing. This change combines a sense of strength and vulnerability that seems very personal, as if she's welcoming you into a private time of shared feeling and an open connection that goes beyond her physical form. Each of her gestures and touches narrates a tale of bravery and desire. Moments like this highlight the joy of being fully present with someone else. A unique and priceless reminder of the richness and depth of human connection. From an evolutionary perspective, a woman's hip-swaying motion is much more than just a gait. It is a very The core of old mating rituals is carried by a deep, primal signal that isn't only a random motion, but a deliberate subconscious action connected to our most fundamental instincts of when you consider attraction and reproduction. It's amazing how obviously even something as simple as walking may have deeper meanings that date back thousands of years, according to psychotherapist Dr. Carl Grammar. Well known for his studies of human body language, he has offered significant insights. It's as if a woman's increased knowledge of her own body is what propels these delicate motions. She is very aware of how other people see her, and this knowledge shows itself at times of attraction. When a woman detects your attention, it shows in her body language, particularly in the way she moves. More methodical, taking slower, more measured steps as if she were carrying out her hips sway with a lovely rhythm in an unsaid ritual, and the movement isn't unintentional, as if her body is quite aware of what it is doing to show her. It's difficult to overlook her femininity. She's not simply mindlessly wandering. She is delicately displaying her inherent elegance, curves, and allure. So, this is about the unconscious power of not being conceited. Every move she makes appears to convey a narrative, beckoning you to join in on the fascination. Examine her more closely to see the beauty and vitality that emanate from her. A subtle yet distinct method of communicating, a seductive dance that doesn't need words to be understood in these situations. She becomes into something captivating, even hypnotic, that involves more than simply movement, beautiful demonstration of sensuality and confidence. If you look closely, you'll see that her hips do more than just move. They seem to be moving through the air with a deliberate flow. Rhythm adds a sense of fluidity and grace that suggests something more profound. Primarily, this is her body communicating in a language that is founded in the foundation of human connection. Her posture may deteriorate, and her steps may become slower, a little more erect, and she appears to be saying, "Notice me, appreciate me," in a purposeful manner. Every movement is an implicit invitation that draws you in without using words. In my opinion, this is among the most deep and exquisite types of non-verbal communication, is about more than just boasting or cockiness. It's about a natural manifestation of self-assurance and consciousness. It's amazing to consider how something so basic a woman's stroll turns into a dance when she feels saxthally aroused. Intentional but understated to captivate and tempt her hips to swing without habit, but as an unintentional means of calling your attention to acknowledge her existence. The act is not for the audience, but rather for how powerful attraction is, and when you pay attention to the signal, you'll discover that you're experiencing one of the most personal connections that people can make. This movement is ageless. Her body's rhythmic movements serve as a reminder of the close relationship between our emotional moods and our physical behavior. Of her movements and the understated assurance in her stance all came together to produce a strong demonstration of attraction, which is, in my view, one of the most captivating features of human or interaction, is a celebration of the body rather than just a display of desire. With its capacity to convey emotions that words cannot express, this primal beauty dance offers a window into the timeless essence of attraction and serves as a reminder of our common humanity. We connect in profound and unsaid ways. Have you ever been in a woman's gaze for an extended period of time? She seems to be pulled to you in a way that makes her heart stay too long. Manner she is unable to fully control. If you have seen this, you have probably one of the strongest but most subdued indicators of saxthal desire. And there's something almost mystical about that moment, when electromagnetic bond that seems very intimate, as if her eyes are communicating in a language that words cannot record the brief yet unforgettable conversation in silence. It's a moment when her eyes convey all she may not be able to say, might make you ponder, wonder, and perhaps want to learn more about the study. Demonstrates that our eyes are reflections of our faces, and not simply instruments for viewing. Underlying emotions and wants that a woman experiences when she is attracted to someone, sax thuli. Her pupils enlarge in a physiological reaction that she is unable to control. This dilation is not coincidental. Rather, it's caused by the brain's dopamine release, a chemical that often dopamine, also known as the pleasure chemical, floods the brain during her pupils' enlargement in your presence, is a sign of enthusiasm, joy, and yes, arousal. Her body's method of expressing that there is something about you that deeply and instinctively thrills her. It's a raw, spontaneous response that shows her sentiments and goes beyond conscious thinking. The intriguing aspect is how this response becomes stronger the more sexually attracted she is, even if she is attempting to hide them. She senses that it's becoming difficult for her to avoid staring at you, may flash back to you again and over, as if she's being pulled by some unseen power. Her desire takes precedence over her goals, and she may not even be aware that she is doing it, making her gaze linger longer than she may have intended. And if you look closely, you'll observe that these instances often occur inside a shared emotional, intense closeness. Maybe during a discussion when the chemistry seems tangible, or even across a packed room when her eyes meet yours in the middle of the for me. Chaos is a reminder that this occurrence is nothing short of spectacular. Considering the profound human connection and the language that our bodies use to communicate own one, that the eyes, often referred to as the windows to the soul, has the amazing capacity to disclose what is underneath the surface. They convey openness, yearning, curiosity, and even the subdued excitement of, in a sense, desire is a very personal act, even if it is brief. Her prolonged gaze is an instance of unguarded candor in which her feelings are revealed, the obstacles of shyness or social propriety, which adds to its allure, the mystery and feeling that go into it. It's not just about the physical attraction, it's about making a connection and feeling different from other people, and unique when a woman's pupils enlarge as she gazes at you. It seems as if her body is speaking a quiet truth that her words would be reluctant to convey. Invite a spark that bears the weight of possibility and the opportunity for greater things. In my opinion, this is one of the most exquisite features of people. Engagement, these little, often missed moments, are what form her pupils' dilatation, and the way her eyes seem make the desire feel so genuine and palpable. Appear to latch onto yours, the chemistry that permeates the atmosphere. It's a reminder that attraction is more than just the physical, this dance of emotions and impulses, deep interaction between the mind, body, and soul. So the next time you see a woman's look closely at you, don't write it off as a coincidence. It may be the beginnings of a tale, the commencement of a relationship that transcends language. It serves as a silent yet potent reminder of how exquisitely intricate and attraction is a profoundly human phenomenon that is studied in interpersonal interactions, constantly show how powerful eye contact is in establishing and strengthening It's amazing how something as relatively simple as locking eyes can evoke strong feelings between two individuals, spark interest, and even produce a sustained, unquestionable sexual tension. Even a little period of time might seem like an eternity filled with when a lady attempts to look away but maintains eye contact. It's like electricity. It's a strong indication that there's more going on here than just light talk. It's possible that her thoughts are straying into uncharted terrain, where there is an underlying appeal and curiosity, perhaps a sign of desire. This eye-locking gesture isn't only a coincidence or happenstance, it's a part of a complex subconscious and emotional dance, indicating that her pupils may slightly enlarge, an instinctive reaction that science links to arousal and enthusiasm. Her eyes may soften, expressing warmth and vulnerability, or it can hover for a little too long before making that little intentional movement down to your lips. The motion in focus is not arbitrary. Rather, it is her mind subtly examining what it might feel like you need to go closer. These subliminal cues may be both exciting and disarming, making you question if she realizes how much she's disclosing simply with her looks. Her gaze's interaction reveals a story in which she's both in command and on the verge of giving up. The way her eyes lock with yours, and then retreating, and then coming back, is more than just keeping eye contact. This back-and-forth look reflects an internal conflict between self-control and curiosity. Her strategy for maintaining composure, while her mind may be racing with ideas, possibilities that are too strong for words to describe. It's a tug-of-war that's as subtle as it is alluring, captivating you with her potential. The reality about women's sexual signals is that they feel but don't yet express it. Are often far more subtle than men's, yet they have an unmatched. The intricacy is shown by the strength of these signals, which are so full of nuance, of feminine desire, while males could show their attraction more overtly. Women often use a symphony of elegant looks, gestures, and movements to express their emotions. They warn that her body may start speaking in ways that her words cannot. Her lips softly, as if repressing an unsaid idea, looking for reasons to swinging her hips in a discussion or touching your arm or shoulder. If you are still viewing this video and find these teachings helpful, please do it in a manner that grabs and retains your attention. To let me know that you are still with me, please leave a remark below. Each of these actions is intentional, even if she is unaware of it, as seen by the way she comes in closer while speaking to you and the casual way her hand brushes against her fingertips, lingering on something close to you or yours. Both have a burden of implying that even her smile and a fleeting look, our time may serve as a prompt to observe her emotions and the way her pupils enlarge as her biological reaction when she looks at you emphasizes how attractive she is. In my opinion, they are a quiet confession her body makes on her behalf. Cues are not only enthralling, they are also profoundly poignant and embody a lovely, complex communication style that combines emotional sensitivity and physical appeal, which makes they are both aggressive and reticent at times, which makes their duality so remarkable. Sincere, frank, enigmatic, and amusing, they demonstrate that attraction isn't only based on physical chemistry. Concerning the unsaid bond between two souls, investigating the potential of anything greater, identifying and valuing these signs requires not just focus but also. These displays of respect are more than simply invites. They are windows into her. When you see these indications in your inner environment, it's not necessary to react right away, but about appreciating the bond being formed. Partnerships start to take shape during these subtly thrilling times. Times when curiosity and attraction combine to become something deeper, vulnerability, and the point at which, as we near the finish, the unsaid serves as the basis for something really significant of this video. Let's pause to really consider everything that we have discovered together. What have you discovered about the intriguing ways in which women express their desire without using words? Was it the subtle allure of her biting her lip, the gentle force of her touch, and the mesmerizing swing of her hips, or the enticing bond formed by maintaining eye contact? Each of these indicators provides insight about her. We want to share our ideas and sentiments that disclose more than words ever could. Hear what struck a chord with you the most. Was there ever a time that made? If you have a different perspective on the expression or understanding of attraction, please take a time to share it in the comments below. One important takeaway from this video that you'll consider is listed below. Practice in your interactions or relationships, whether it's reacting to nonverbal clues or